Eek. Yeah, it's that weird guy again. It's that weird woodworker again. I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, good morning, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another video. Good coffee this morning. Coffee's always good, and it's always good in the morning. So, I thought I would do a little video. Whoa, fall off my stool here. I thought I would do a little video this morning here and just talk a little bit about Christmas, and specifically Christmas ornaments, and more specifically wood Christmas ornaments, and more specifically wood scroll sawn Christmas ornaments. And I just want to talk a little bit about it and just show you how I do it. This isn't the only way to do it, and it's not the only style of ornament, but it's the way I like to do it and the kind of ornaments I like to make. So I'm just going to show you a couple of patterns and books and magazines that, I've gotten patterns out of through the years, and also how I make my patterns. And then I'm going to show you kind of start to finish how I make a Christmas ornament. It's getting to be the season. It's October 29th. Yeah, Halloween's just around the corner. I don't do Halloween, so I just rush right into Christmas. And so we're starting to slowly decorate for Christmas and stuff. But yeah, I just like the Christmas season, and I love fall and winter and Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if you like Halloween and do that stuff, that's fine. But I don't do that too much. But I've been making Christmas ornaments throughout the year because I want to make a lot this year, and I haven't done as many as I wanted to. I've just been busy working and other things and stuff. But last couple of days I've been kicking it in, and I got about 80 Christmas ornaments made right now. And I want to make about 200 this year because I want to give away a lot. And we give them to family and friends and in our church and stuff. And we're going to visit people this year in nursing homes and hospitals, and just people who can't get out. Visit people and give them little gifts, and Christmas ornaments is one of the things we're going to give. So there's different places you can get Christmas ornament patterns. Just going to show you a few here. Let's see here. I'm going to go like this. All right. Tell you a few things here. Okay, so there's different books, and I have a lot of pattern books I've gotten throughout the years. So again, I've been woodworking and scrollsawing for over 30 years, and I really enjoy it. And I've got a collection of books, and I still have a lot of books. I've given some away. I have a lot of magazines and stuff. But like this, Christmas scroll saw patterns. And there's different ones in here, really simple patterns. Some of them are really simple, and they can get more detailed, like that. All different kinds. And some are more about Santa, and some are about Jesus, and all the different things about Christmas and different things, all kinds of different kind of patterns like in there. Here's another one, scroll saw holiday patterns. This one it's not just Christmas, it has a lot of other ones in here too. But all different kinds of patterns for different ornaments. They got some really detailed ones, a lot of inside cuts and stuff, fretwork type stuff, different shapes, and then they get lots of simple ones, all different kinds. And honestly, I have thousands of scroll saw patterns, and I have thousands of ornament patterns. And so y'all know that there's two scroll saw magazines, Creative Woodworks and Crafts, which I don't think it's published anymore, and then Scroll Saw Workshop. They're both really good, and they have lots of good patterns. And Creative Woodworks and Crafts actually had a wood ornament issue that they would come out every year in the fall. And now there'd be 200-300 patterns in here, and all different ones, all different kinds, different styles, again, really detailed ones, and then simple ones. And they're all different designers who make them, and you can get really detailed, some of them. Some of them are more simple, some are more complicated. There's just a few different ones you can see. And it was always neat getting a new issue every year. I mean, you can get incredibly detailed, just really, you do 3D compound cut ornaments, and you can get some that you paint, some that you stain, some are really complicated, some are really simple, just all different kinds. There's not just ornaments in here. Look at the snowflakes and stuff, I mean, just incredible. Really a lot of detail. And all those magazines come with the patterns, the pull-out patterns that you can pull out. I usually take them out of, I used to take them out of the magazines. Now I don't, because then I couldn't find them. but yeah, they're full-size patterns, and you can just take them out and you can make copies of them. That's what I would suggest. Don't use the original pattern, because then you want to keep the original pattern. So make copies of them, and then you can have the patterns. There's all different, just tons of them. I had just a few here. I have books and magazines and stacks of patterns, and then I have binders full of patterns, all different things. Again, the really simple ones, really complicated ones. And so there's thousands of patterns out there in books, in magazines, online. There's a lot of free ones. There's ones you can buy. Again, you can look in comic books. You can find places. There's a lot of different places you can get patterns for scroll sawing, for woodworking. And like I do a lot of times, just Google pictures of anything you're looking for, any kind of pattern, and then just look at the picture and draw it and make your own pattern. I do that all the time. That's what's kind of fun, is to take a pattern and then tweak it to your own, make it a little different. Sometimes I'll take a pattern of a Christmas ornament. Maybe it's really detailed. It has 20 inside cuts. I don't like having a lot of inside cuts. I like it more simple. But I'll make that pattern, but I won't do any of the inside cuts. Or I'll only do a couple of them. You can tweak them, and you can combine different patterns and stuff. And so there's a lot of patterns out there. Years ago, I decided it'd be fun to make a new Christmas ornament every year and give them to friends and family. And so I've done that throughout the years, off and on. And some years I miss and stuff. But I'm trying to do that every year again. And what I like to do is do a new one every year, so that people don't get an ornament they've got before from me. So every year I like to make a new one. And I've been trying to make up my own patterns. I mean, again, I have lots of patterns, but I like to make up my own. It's kind of fun, and it's unique. It's something I made and special from us, and so there's different ways to put patterns on the wood, okay? And most people will take a paper pattern. Okay, they'll have their book or their magazine and make a copy of the pattern, okay? And then you cut the pattern out, and then you spray adhesive or double-sided tape or a glue stick or whatever, and you'll put it on the wood. And then you cut it out, then you take the pattern off, and you sand it and all that. I don't do that, and that's fine if you like to do that. I don't do that unless it's a really complicated pattern. What I do instead is I make patterns out of hardboard. It's like an 1/8" hardboard, a regular hardboard or tempered hardboard. That's actually plywood. I mean, you can use anything for a pattern. And that's what I've done through the years. Here's one of my favorite ones. It's just like a little church scene, and it's just a pattern. I like doing that because then I can just take this, put it on the wood, and just trace it. I don't have to worry about a paper pattern or adhesive or glues or tapes or getting all that stuff off. And the thing is, too, when you have a kind of a detailed pattern, if you have to peel off the tape or the glue and you have to sand it more than you normally would, sometimes it could break the ornament because it's fragile. So that's just the way I like to do it. It's what I've done through the years. This is one of my favorites, too, another Joy one. I just make a hardboard template, and then you just trace it on the wood, and there's nothing to take off. Yeah, it's a little harder to see the lines, and you can use different colored pencils or whatever, but that's just the way I like to do it. So you can see here, these are patterns of Christmas ornaments I've made through the years. And I have patterns hanging all over my shop here because that's what I do a lot. I'll make a hardboard pattern. Let's see here. I'll move carrying the tripod here. But this was the ornament I made last year that was a pretty detailed one. It's just a Jesus cross, basically. And so that was last year's ornament. Made over 100 of them, and it took a little more time. And there's different ones, you know, I made through the years, snowflakes and Christmas trees and stars and joys and, you know, different ones. Sorry. I'm the funny videographer here. You know, the Jesus cross, that was one of my favorites one year. And this was kind of a neat one. It's just a little nativity hanging one. So yeah, just different ones I've made throughout the years. The one I'm making this year is this one, and this is a little bit simpler. So it's just an oval with a Bethlehem star in there. Really simple. So this one is easier this year, so that's why I want to make more of them. It's taken a lot less time, and they're not as fragile. It's more solid. That Jesus cross one last year was pretty fragile. It was still fine, but every once in a while I like to make one that's a little bit more solid. So that's my ornament this year, and that's in oak. This is in poplar. This one's in aspen. This one's in Palo Rosa or something. I don't know what that is. Really pretty. But yeah, I like to make them out of different woods. For the most part, you know, poplar and oak. I mean, I like using tight grain woods for ornaments for a lot of projects, but especially for ornaments because they're thinner and more fragile. So I like to use tight grain wood. Birch and maple and cherry are probably my favorite woods to use for Christmas ornaments. And again, I use solid wood. I don't like using plywood or Baltic birch, and I know a lot of you like that, and that's fine. I just don't like that. I like using solid wood, and I use 1/4-inch wood. This is 1/4-inch oak, solid oak, and I just think it looks really nice on the edge and the face. I just like using 1/4-inch hardwoods and softwoods, but mostly hardwoods for Christmas ornaments. That's what I use. Yeah, losing my train of thought here. And I like and for the most part, I'll do a lot out of oak because oak is readily available. 1/4-inch oak, I can get at Menards and different places, and it doesn't cost a lot, especially when you're doing ornaments, because you get a board, you can do a whole bunch of ornaments out of one board. Yeah, but I like to use different woods. And this year, I'm trying to find some different woods and re-sign some different woods too. I have a lot of different wood that are like 3/4-inch or 1 inch thick, but I'm trying to re-saw them so I can get some 1/4-inch pieces out to do different color ornaments. But yeah, okay, I'm going to show you now how I do it start to finish. So let's go over here. Whoa, all right, yeah. So first thing I do is so here's the pattern I make. And so that's the thing, y'all. Again, you can do it however you want. Oh, good night. Jeez. Sorry, the lighting, it keeps changing. Anyway, so the first thing I do if I'm going to make a new ornament for the year is I make the pattern. So I design the pattern, and then I make a hardboard template. And this is my pattern. I keep this. And then I just trace it on wood. So I made the pattern. So then what I do is, let's take dropping things all over. Okay, so I got a piece of 1/4-inch oak here. It's a little bowed, but yeah, it'll be fine. Actually, well, yeah, that'll be fine. So the first thing I do is I trace it on the wood here. Let me see what I'm doing here. Good night. Oh, I need a new tripod, y'all. It's really, yeah. All right. And what I like to do is you turn them different directions so you get different grain. Most of the time I have the grain going in one direction, but I like to just change it up and do some different grain directions and stuff. Let's see how quick this is. Skeeter. Skeeter should be gone. It's supposed to be like 72 today. But then it's going to drop and cool off. I guess there's a chance of snow Thursday night. Crazy. Okay. And that's all I do, y'all. That's how simple it is. That's how quick it is. Oh, good night. All right. Let's go like this. See? Just trace it on there. You don't have to deal with the paper patterns or adhesives or glues. I don't know. So then, so there's one inside cut, the star. So I just drill a hole, and you can use a drill press. I have a big drill press. I have a small drill press. Most of the time I just use my cordless screw gun with the drill bit. Okay. And so I drill it. Whoa. Night. So I have an entry hole there, but I'm also going to drill a hole to hang it, because I put it like a little string or ribbon or whatever in there. So I'm going to do that now. So I always drill those holes when the wood is a bigger piece. If you wait till you cut your ornament and then you try to drill those holes, sometimes it'll crack. So it's better to do it, while it's a bigger piece of wood. So yeah, yesterday we had our youth group over. It was fun. We did that again. And they were cutting, I was teaching them how to cut little crosses on the scroll saw, and they're going in Operation Christmas Child Christmas boxes this year. So they made a whole bunch of those, and I was showing them what I did is trace the crosses on the board, and then I drill the holes to hang, because they're going to be cross necklaces. And then I drill all the holes in them first, rather than do it when it's a small cross. So yeah, if you have inside cuts, and you have to drill an entry hole or a hole for hanger, do that when it's a bigger piece of wood, not when it's the small ornament or the small cross or whatever you're making. It's just easier. It works better. And then at my miter saw, I'm just going to cut it to size, so I don't have this big piece to go on the scroll saw. Okay. And then I have that ready to go to the scroll saw. Now I'll go back over to the scroll saw. Are you guys getting dizzy yet? And I'm just going to do this in real time, because it really doesn't take real long to make these. Whoa, hello. Okay. Now, if I was doing thicker oak, I would put clear packing tape on the back. Just this stuff. And get good tape, y'all. You don't want to use the cheap tape. I've done that. I think some of you remember that video. Tape was, I had issues. Yeah. But sometimes I'll put clear packing tape on the back of oak and cherry, maple, some of them. It cools the blade, and there's a less chance that it's going to burn or break the blade, and it just cuts really smooth. It really does. The clear packing tape on the back or on the front or both, it cools it. So it really does work. Okay, so for me personally, and everybody's different, but for me personally, I like to do all my inside cuts first. For one thing, that's the hardest part. It takes more time to do the inside cuts. And if you do the outside first, once you cut the outside, you have less wood to hold on to. So if I'm going to do the inside cuts, which is a little more detailed, I like to have more wood to hold on to. So I always do the inside cuts first. So that's like here, I got a few traced out here, and I did the inside cuts first, and then I'll do the outside. So you just disconnect the blade and put it through the middle, because I'm going to cut the star out, and then you rehook the blade. That's how you do inside cuts. People ask sometimes, it's like, yeah, you have to unhook the blade, rehook it up, and then cut it, and then hook it up again. And that's it. Then you get a little star. You could, well, you got a hole in there, so it's not really, I don't know. But you could try to cut these out a little more carefully, and then you could use that little star. But yeah, so that's the inside cut. And I was starting to say, so I put clear packing tape on the back of my wood sometimes just to help it stay cool and not burn. But I don't do it at 1/4 inch. It's thin. I don't need tape on it. What's that? Oh, I think it's gunshot or hunting. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So now I'll do the outside. Just like that. So, depending on how detailed your ornament is, well, it only takes a few minutes to do each ornament. Or if it's like the Jesus Cross one or a scene one, some of the ones that are more detailed, it might take you 10, 15 minutes to do one ornament. This year I felt like doing a simpler one, and so it doesn't take as long, so I can do more of them this year. Okay, now I'm going to go sand it. And the thing is, the scroll saw, that skinny scroll saw blade is super sharp. And so it's pretty smooth. I mean, you can see the edges are even shiny. It cuts so smooth. Okay. And of course, this is smooth because I bought the wood already smooth. It's sanded on both sides. So it's really just the edges you got to sand. But I like to just quickly do it on my bench sander. I got to save the glasses at each tool. So I'm just going to quickly do both sides. And I got some pencil lines on there just to quickly do it. And you got to be careful when you're sanding something really thin because there's not much to hold on to. That's all it takes, really. You know. Okay, now we'll just quickly hand sand. And I got different grits here, and I usually use, I don't know, 120 or whatever. And that's all I'm gonna do is quickly. Sorry, the lighting is really bad in here. I don't know. And this light above me is out, but I'm just gonna take the edge off, just to lightly, so it's not sharp. And this only takes a couple minutes. And so some ornaments I'll have a front and a back. And on the back side, I might write on there, Merry Christmas, love the Leons, or like this one, there really isn't a front and a back, but I'll still, I'll probably write on the back of them still. But some ornaments, there's clearly a front and a back. And all wood is different, again, as far as how much sanding you need to do and stuff. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time on this because they're already pretty smooth. I'm just taking off the sharp edge. And usually you don't have to sand on the inside because it's pretty smooth. And that's basically it. It's ready to finish. So then what I do, and there's a couple of different ways I finish. Let me see here. Maybe I'll go like this. In my garbage can, I have a little. Whoa! What are you doing up there? Supposed to be down here. Get my garbage can here, and I have a little Lazy Susan here that I use sometimes for finishing. So sometimes I'll put these on a screen, on plastic. Sometimes I'll just use a couple of nuts. That's what I'm going to do just for this little demonstration thing here. Make sure all the dust is off them. Okay, and then I go like this. And then, so for finishing, I have different ways I'll do this. Sometimes I'll stain. Get back up here. So I don't gotta bend over. Sometimes I'll stain things and then put a clear coat on them. Sometimes I'll use Danish oil or tung oil. I like doing that. And I'll just pour it into a little tub or bowl or whatever, and then I'll dip the Christmas ornaments in there. It works good for those. It gets in all the grooves and the different, the inside parts and stuff. Sometimes I'll do that when I'm doing Christmas ornaments, prayer crosses, words, little things. I'll just dip them instead of staining them or spraying them. A lot of times I'll just spray, though. That's what I'm going to do with this one. And this is just Watco clear lacquer. I use Helmsman or Deft or different ones. This is a lac, or sometimes I'll just use it. This is semi-gloss. It takes 30 minutes to dry. I should get my other one. But anyway, some of them, they dry right away. And, just a clear coat. And that's all it really takes, because what I really just want to do is just bring out the color. It just brings out the grain. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. This is oak, and right away it brings out the grain. Isn't that pretty? Now it's wet, but for this video, I can get the lighting right here so you can see this. It just brings out the color and the grain, kind of seals it. So yeah, I'll do different things. Sometimes I'll dip them in oils. Sometimes I'll stain them. Sometimes I'll put a clear coat on, and different ways of finishing them. So yeah, and then I'll put like string. Good night. I'm not against the light. It looks better. Anyway, sometimes I'll put like little twine or ribbon or string or leather cord. I use different things for Christmas ornaments, and some ornaments you don't need a hole like that. I could have just hang the string through the star too. You don't have to have a hole for the, but I just want to do that this year. Also, you can use the little metal hangers that you use on regular Christmas ornaments too. That works too. I just like to use, some ribbon or cord, especially like the thin leather cord. It looks really nice with wood. But yeah, that's basically it. I take my pattern and I trace it on the wood, cut it down to size, go to the scroll saw, cut it out, sand it on my bench sander, then sand the edges by hand. Yeah, either dip them in tung oil or spray clear lacquer or stain or whatever on them, and then let them dry, and then put hangers on them, and they're ready to give to people, put them in Christmas cards, whatever. So, yeah. Again, some years they're more detailed, some they're simple. So there's different steps, but that's basically the steps I do, or I use the steps I have for making Christmas ornaments. So, yeah. Sit back down here and I'll say a few last words before we finish the video. Good night. I'm not going to edit much on this one. You're just going to see all the different moving around. But yeah, that's how I make Christmas ornaments. Again, I like to use 1/4-inch hardwoods and softwoods. And I just think they're really nice. And I don't like to get really detailed in mine. There are ornaments out there that have tons of inside cuts, and they're really detailed. I don't like to have a lot of inside cuts because I like to have a lot of wood left. Some patterns out there have so many inside cuts that they remove so much wood, there's not much wood left. It's more empty space. And they're pretty and they're nice, but they're a lot more work. It takes like a half hour to do each ornament, and there's not much wood left. For my ornaments, I like to see a lot of wood and see all the wood grain. So, yeah, that's just the way I like to do it. But again, there's all different places you can get scroll saw patterns and Christmas ornament patterns. You can make up your own patterns. You can combine patterns. There's many different ways you can do it. And you don't have to use a scroll saw. There's other ways you can make it too. You can take logs. I got some on the shelf over here. You can take a log and make slices with your miter saw. And then you have ornaments, and you can paint them and decorate them and stain them and wood burn them. Again, if you're more into crafty stuff, then you can make them out of different materials and many different ways you can make Christmas ornaments. And you can do 3D compound ones too. Those are kind of fun. There's just many different ways. If you're a wood turner, you can turn ornaments on the lathe. So there's different ways. And I really, of all the different woodworking, Scrollsawing is my favorite. And I like making Jesus words and word art and stuff. But I really enjoy making Christmas ornaments. I love the Christmas season. I like to make them throughout the year. And yeah, just one of my favorite things. So these are a few of my favorite things. Yeah, I'm not going to, sorry, I won't sing today. But this is one of my favorite things, making Christmas ornaments and giving them away to people and just spreading the joy of Jesus and the Christmas season with other people. So yeah. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Just wanted to ramble a little bit about Christmas ornaments, how I make them, and yeah, anyway, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. I just like to share my life, whatever I'm doing. Comment. I want to see your comments. I like talking back and forth and stuff like that. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.